of the academic transcript in college recruiting. You know, the landscape that we talk about all the time with regard to athletes being older, athletes being more mature, not only does that mean with regard to athletics, but it also means academics. Academics, as student athletes get older, there's more time management skills, study habits, all of those types of requirements and dynamics of being an overall college student as well as athlete begin to take shape. So the college transcript, when we talk to college coaches, they always will say A and B's play. As a student athlete, there is not a lot of need to kind of overburden with regard to the honors classes at the freshman and sophomore years of high school. It's really good for parents to understand requirements academically are having a good GPA. You don't need to have an elite GPA. You need to have a good, solid foundation of a transcript that starts during your freshman and sophomore year of high school. During those 2 years of high school, you want to make sure that you're developing a good study habits and understanding that the role academics will play at the college level is really much more advanced than at the high school level. And so that begins when you're in high school by developing those habits. A lot of parents will begin to ask about test scores. Are test scores optional? When should I begin to take my tests, SAT or ACT? In some cases, I will encourage parents, spend more of your time and resources with regard to academic tutors to just prepare your student athlete to become good test takers. A lot of times parents will say to college coaches, which is a big red flag, my son is not a good test taker. He really freezes up in the moment of taking tests. What that tells a college coach is you're really not a good preparer. You're really kind of a procrastinator, and you try to kind of lump everything into the last few hours or last few days of study. So if you begin to surround your student athlete with good kind of tutors, both peer tutors, professional tutors, maybe current faculty can offer some help with regard to tutoring, ACT and SAT test scores, as well as the combination with your transcript, can at several colleges help with regard to financial aid. If you have a certain test score, for instance, the ACT, several schools, everything above a 24 ACT is going to get you more money. Everything above a 1200 SAT will get you more money. Yes, you can be considered test optional, but when it comes to college being affordable, a lot of times you can combine athletic money with academic money. So making sure that you're providing a good foundation with regard to the academic aspect of being a college recruitable student athlete is recognizing the skill sets that are needed, giving yourself the right time management skill sets in order to, for instance, I have a student athlete that at night became very distracted, whether it was communications with friends or sports would run late. They had to get up a little bit earlier in the morning and spend an hour studying or doing some homework assignments. Also, understanding that being proactive with regard to writing papers, reading books, don't waiting and putting things off to the last minute. That was kind of my youngest son's Achilles heel. He would always try to be cramming things in. And once he learned the proper time management skill sets that were required to be a good, disciplined student, he was able to, the college experience became very easy for him during the latter half of his high school career, his junior and senior year.
What we do is try to create plans, calendars, organization around their classes so that at those meetings we can share what we feel they should be working on at a certain timetable, and then for that particular week, but also again looking ahead so they don't never fall behind. I always talk to my students, saying if you're working 1 or 2 days ahead, you're never going to fall behind. If you need to take a few days off to study for a test or just take a little bit of time off, if you stay 1 day ahead in each one of your classes, you're going to be just fine. And so we try to preach a lot of those things as we guide them early on.
One word of caution for a lot of parents and student athletes. College is a lot of reading and writing of papers. So if you do not find yourself doing a lot of that at the high school level, always be proactive and learn how to write those papers. Look online, do a little bit of advanced research, and figure out the average paper of a college assignment might be 6 pages, double spaced, 12-point type, etc., and kind of do some practice and trial runs with that. Always remember, the academic money is as important as the athletic money when it comes to financial aid or scholarships. And the sooner that you can understand the balance between the academic and athletics for your high school athlete, the easier the transition will be for college. The number one dynamic of becoming a college student athlete is recognizing that those first 6 months of being a college student are the most challenging for most freshmen because they do not have good time management skills when it comes to the academic component of being a student athlete. If you get ahead of that in high school, you'll have a smoother, easier transition into college and being an active participant when you're a freshman at the college level.